So here we are, day 11. It's been 10 days since the surgery, and today I met with the surgeon, and he said the scar is looking okay. So give you a look at that. They cleaned up some of the glue. They didn't clean up all the glue. They didn't clean up it as much as I was hoping they would, but it's looking, a little bit better. And he explained to me that it's, a 6 week process for it to kind of start settling down, and then it'll take a full year before it, really gets to where it's gotta be. So this is still pretty early on. The pathology report came in. It says a 1.5 cm nodule, and so that's really good news. That it was only 1.5 cm. It means that it was caught pretty early. The downside is that there were several nodules, one of which was cancer, and as a result of that, I will be recommended to get the iodine nuclear treatment, which I was expecting to get anyway. So not a huge, surprise there. But it was interesting to find out that if it had only been one nodule, I might have been able to skip that. So I find that somewhat interesting. Um, he also said the biopsy and lymph nodes came back and everything looks good with that. So that's awesome. That's good news. I'm okay to drive, okay to lift. Care for this. I've read a lot of where people put things on the scar, either as creams or scar away or scar strips or whatever. He says, don't do that. It's a waste of money. You get the same results. It's, that those other things are just a lot of money for little benefit. And I know everybody's different. Everybody has their different opinions, and people believe different things. So if you've got a mind that you can help this out by putting a cream on it or putting some strips on it or something, go for it. This is just what my surgeon told me to do. Um, so let's see what else. He did recommend though that as soon as it gets to a certain stage, that I start massaging it, and that'll start help breaking it up and making it go flat and helping it out. And he also says that when I go outside, I've got to put sunscreen on it. So, none of that is a huge surprise. I asked about the sore throat because the sore throat comes and goes. It typically throat gets dry, it really starts to hurt, and he said, yeah, that's gonna keep happening for another week or two. And he said, just drink lots of water, and water seems to help me and keep it from hurting. It's interesting. They did the breathing tube and they electrified that breathing tube for so they could find out where the I don't know, let's say the voice box was, so they wouldn't cut anything in there. And it's amazing how no pain anywhere except for what that breathing tube did. So yeah, a little disappointed there. But hey, you know what? If it helped and they didn't cut vocal cords, then I'm very grateful for that. Oh, let's see. I asked, what if I miss thyroid medicine dose? How long until it would impact me? I don't know. Let's say I'm on a trip and I forgot my medicine, or it's a catastrophe and I can't get to my medicine, or, think of whatever calamity might happen. And he said it would be a couple of months before things would get really bad. So that's good to know. We're not talking days, we're not talking weeks, we're talking months, right? So it's not like a diabetic who you didn't take your insulin and you're going to run into trouble in a few minutes or maybe an hour or so. It's very, very different. So that was reassuring. I was glad to hear that. Um, and he recommends that, if I miss a dose, then I take the next dose as soon as I can to just get back on track with everything. And so, and just as a full disclaimer here, that this was my surgeon talking to me, answering my questions, and you need to talk to your healthcare provider to get your answers to your questions. But, you might be interested to find out what I was told and compare notes, or maybe this will help you when you talk to your healthcare provider and know what kinds of things to ask and what kind of answers to expect. Now, I've got a fun weekend coming up, going to a demolition derby. A little bit concerned. There's going to be a lot of dirt and dust in the air, and what's going to happen, with this. And so he recommended getting a bandage and just covering it up. so that keep it clean. So that's probably what I'm going to do there. Demolition Derby is going to be the first time really out in a crowd and with people and all that other stuff. So since the surgery, anyways. So maybe a bandage would help me not be so self-conscious. I've said this before. I don't care about the scar. It doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is if it bothers other people, and so that's where that's at. Okay, so that's the update. Ran a little long. Apologize for that. Have a good one.